There isn't any real conflict between evolution and theism, even though a number of atheists, notably Richard Dawkins, have made a career about insisting upon some fundamental contradiction. In my own work, I affirm evolution and theism. And so where does the apparent conflict come from? Well, it comes from the idea that theism is teleological or purposeful. If God made the universe, if God made man, he did it with a purpose. Evolution is supposed to be lacking purpose or direction. And this is the question I want to zoom into. Several years ago, the Harvard paleontologist Stephen Jay Gould insisted that if you rewind the tape of life back to the beginning, he said, and play it again, you'll get a totally different outcome. And what he was trying to get at is that evolution is based upon randomness and upon chance. And even though there has been an evolution toward, let's say, man, Gould says, wait a minute, we don't live in a, quote, age of man. We could just as easily say we live in an age of bacteria or in an age of the virus.
Darwinian fitness, first of all, has nothing to do with progress, but Darwinian fitness is an immediate or local concept. It doesn't accumulate over time into such patterns as increasing complexification or betterment.
Now, this view that evolution is purely random and that there's no direction to it, there's no teleology, has been challenged in recent years, now for more than a decade, by some of the world's leading scholars, including the Belgian chemist Christian de Duve, winner of the Nobel Prize, and also Simon Conway Morris, the British paleontologist, the world's leading expert on the Burgess Shale. And basically what de Duve and Morris are saying is the same thing. They're saying, look, Gould is wrong. Evolution, if you look at it and leave aside any theological assumptions, shows an obvious directionality. In the beginning, you have the simplest and unicellular organisms. Then you have a movement toward greater complexity. You have multicellular organisms, including the profusion of living beings we see today, from animals to man. And then you have a massive jump in evolution, a movement, you may say, from matter to mind. In other words, the evolution of consciousness. Nature, in a sense, shows a plan of moving from matter to mind. There's an unmistakable trajectory in nature that reveals, you may almost say, a plan in nature for nature to make itself known, to produce creatures that can then turn around and understand nature. So if that's not directionality, what is? If that's not an indicator of purpose, what is? I think what all of this shows is that there is evolution, but it's evolution in a particular direction, what de Duve calls the arrow of evolution. And the question raised by it is, who fired that arrow?